scrimmage went pretty good. There's a lot of things that we can learn from, both offense and defensively, but overall it was really good.
So what's your favorite thing about throwing to Henry Rose?
Say-
I said, what's your favorite thing about throwing to Henry Rose and having him out there at receiver?
I mean, first off, he's really fast. He can make plays, just like any other guys on our receiving core. So it makes it really fun in the back there.
Wait, what's the craziest or most impressive thing you've seen him do athletically? Is there anything initially that immediately comes to mind?
He had one-hand grabs against LSU, and he had a one-hand grab against Auburn too. Those are pretty nice. So.
What do you take away from a first scrimmage?
Oh, say what? Sorry.
What are some things you take away from the first scrimmage? And is it one of those things where you have all spring and all off season to kind of prepare, that you don't read too much into maybe what happens in that first one?
Well, the first one is always how you really gauge on what everyone knows, and I think this goes for the entire spring. This is a great learning experience and an opportunity for the older guys to help out a lot of the younger guys, early enrollees, guys that didn't get as much playing time last year. It's a great way for us to kind of hone in our experiences and share with them, and kind of help them get better and hopefully reach their full potential as well. So,
what did you see from your brother getting to watch him?
There's a lot of things he can work on. We talked about it in our quarterback room, things that I can work on, things that the other quarterbacks can work on. It's all about getting better in our quarterback room. So he knows he got to get better, and we all know we got to get better. So we just got to continue to push ourselves and one another.
Obviously, this point last year, you got hurt, but
Yep.
There was a quarterback competition on the starter. Now it seems like there's guys behind, has named you the starter, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
What is that like, seeing the other side of it and seeing guys behind you compete for opportunities, maybe reps this coming season?
Well, I think they need the reps, though. God forbid anything does happen again to me, but I think the experience that these guys get, with taking reps with the ones, taking reps with the twos, is going to be really a big difference, in experience, game experience, and how they go out there and how their approach is going to be, going into games as well. So, Mac Jones got the opportunity to go with the ones as well, and I think Mac is on pace to do really good, for us, and be a really great backup as well. So,
how much is the emphasis to get the ball out quickly for you, and then also how much do you think Sarkisian's West Coast system with the abbreviated routes allows for that?
Yeah, I don't think too much about trying to get the ball out quick. It's all depending on how much they bring from a side. If I don't, flip the protection, it's just really understanding if I'm hot or if I'm not. And then with Coach Sark, it's really full field progression reads. Last year we worked more on RPO, and we had that opportunity to perfect it. And now we're trying to perfect full progression reads. So reading the entire field this year, and I think implementing, pure progression reads and RPOs is definitely going to be really big for us this season.
When you're going through those reads and kind of reading the whole field, how does your chemistry with your wide receivers affect your thought process? Are you thinking like, okay, Jerry runs this route this way, or like you said, Henry's really fast, so I got to make sure I get it over the top, or how does that affect your thought process?
Well, it doesn't affect my thought process at all. It's just, in practice, getting the timing, getting the rhythm down with them as well, and it's either I have to speed up my feet or I can slow it down a little bit according to who's running the route. So that's really all it is.
So based on the alignment of the receivers, you might change like how you take your drop and that kind of thing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
At this point, were you normally talking about the defense after the first scrimmage? This year it looks like it's more about the offense. Just how much is that just based on how well you guys have gelled so far?
Well, like I said, this is still, kind of a recuperating situation, where in the spring you're just trying to, find guys that are going to be really good, and you're just trying to give your experience to them and try to help build them up as well. Spring is just to kind of gauge on where everyone is, and I think for our defense, I can't really speak too much for them, but our offense, it's just the leadership is everyone being accountable for one another, and we have a lot of guys that played on the team last year, and so the accountability is there. And for us to just gel with one another, it's a lot easier. It's very smooth. Whereas the defense, we got a lot of new faces out there, and just the leadership is different on both sides. So
Last week, Nick talked about, how you, and not just you, but the quarterback in general needs to prepare and protect himself sometimes. And how do you do that with an offensive line and working with them? And then, there is some turnover there. So have you been focusing a little bit more this spring on finding ways to protect yourself?
I actually haven't, but that has been a kind of reoccurring problem with me not sliding, and taking unnecessary hits when I could just throw the ball away. But I think it's easy now because in the spring, the quarterbacks don't get touched. But I definitely think over the summer, going into fall camp, it'll definitely play a big role into how we go about doing things in practice.
Saban talked about the fact that you didn't have many design runs last year, but Coach Loxley had a history of working with mobile quarterbacks and wanted to get them outside the pocket a little bit. I mean, how much has maybe Sark kind of scaled that back a little bit, even more so than what you did last year, which wasn't much with the design run aspect of it?
Well, playing quarterback, I mean, they're not all going to be design runs, but you also have to extend plays as well. But I think what Coach Saban is trying to say is when I do extend plays, I mean, if it's first down and, the sticks are right there and I see someone else, I don't got to put my head down to try to get another first down. I can just slide, and then we got 3 more downs, hopefully, 2 more downs, to get the first down. So, just little things like that with protecting myself. But, like I said, this year, Coach Sark is just trying to help us as a quarterback group, work on our full field progressions with our pure progression reads. And, we didn't have to run as much this year, like as far as, what we have in our playbook now. So.
You talked a little bit about Mac Jones. What do you like about what you've seen so far from him during the spring and during the scrimmage the other day? And just overall, how much growth have you seen from him since you guys first got here?
Oh, he's grown a lot. I think the biggest word that I could describe Mac Jones and up to this point is confidence. He's very confident in what he does now. He understands the playbook almost inside out. He understands what people need to line up. So, I mean, when you know that, I mean, you can go out there and you can just play fast. And, Mac's been playing really fast. He's been playing really good as well. So.
With the coaching turnover, the last couple of off seasons and everything like that, how important is this spring season to get used to that new personnel and the new terminology and everything like that?
It's not much of personnel. The terminology is definitely different. Getting to understand, what we got to do, where to line up, how to line up. How we speak in the quarterback room is a little different as well. I mean, I said this before, a lot of the coaches that we've had prior to Coach Sark, I mean, they all have, different things on how they speak with their terminology in football to how they call plays. And so it's just something you got to adjust to, and you just got to go with it.
You mentioned.
I would imagine last year was kind of hectic at times for you. Did you ever, at the end of the season or after the season was over, get a chance to reflect back on kind of how crazy it was, how far things went in 6 months, all the attention you got and all the experiences you had?
I actually haven't, but, now that you brought it up, the experiences were awesome. I mean, they were great. There's just always more you can do, and so just looking forward to the challenges that this team has to offer in front of them and the challenges that we have lying ahead of us. So.
You mentioned as a veteran kind of helping some of the younger guys along, and you even talked about your brother. What were some of the things you provided advice-wise, maybe in the quarterback room as the older quarterback, maybe not necessarily the brother? What kind of advice did you give him after this scrimmage?
Just things that I see. I had the opportunity to bring my brother up here late at night, probably about 12:30 to 1, and just sat down with him in our offensive staff meeting room and just watched film with him. He just wanted to know things that I seen out there, and I got to help him with that. But just with the guys in the quarterback room, things that I see as well, or I mean, maybe if they did this, I put my input on it. So just little things like that.
And that was Saturday night after the scrimmage?
That was after the scrimmage Saturday night.
All right, Tua, thank
Thank
you
you very much.